Hello, I'm Jacob Reeder, one of your service leaders for today. Welcome to our yearly high school youth-led service, where you will hear from our high school youth group. We will be sharing our thoughts on this month's theme, Becoming. On behalf of our church, the Unitarian Universalist Church of Annapolis, we welcome you. As together we journey towards spiritual wholeness by working to build a diverse, multicultural, beloved community. At Unitarian Universalist Church of Annapolis, we strive to build bold and compassionate lives. We welcome you, whoever you are, however you believe. You are able to join us in a living tradition of wisdom and spirituality. We welcome you to bring your whole self, your whole identity, your race, your ethnic heritage, your sexual orientation, your gender identity, or your culture. We are a faith built on 7 principles, from the inherent worth and dignity of every human being to the respect for the interdependent web of all existence. And most especially, we honor our 8th principle, by which we affirm and covenant to dismantle racism and other forms of oppression in ourselves and our institutions wherever we encounter them. If you are joining us for the first time today, know that we welcome all newcomers, and if you feel yourself a newcomer, we can welcome you. Also, please fill out the newcomers form. The URL will be in the chat, so we can keep you abreast of our programs. Please join me in reciting our covenant. Love is the spirit of our people, and service is our call. To build the beloved community, to seek the truth and love, to dwell together in peace, to offer aid and affirmation, and to live for one another. This is our covenant.
We light our chalice this morning with these words: holy is this place. Holy are the places of memory, the places which have formed us, where we gather threads and pieces of what we would become. Holy are the places of change and pain, where the rivers of our lives run white and fast, and we hold on and grow.
All right, here we go. All right, deep breath. Breathe out. Breathe in. Breathe out. Here we go. 1, 2,
keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. We keep on waiting, waiting, waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change. Waiting on the world to change.
Hi everyone, my name is Bella Roman, and I'm going to be opening a Wonder Box today. And today, in the Wonder Box, we have some tiny scissors. I wonder how scissors can help us understand the process of becoming. Our group talked a lot about the process a caterpillar goes through to become a butterfly as we considered our theme of becoming. Here's a story of a butterfly that was never able to live its life as a normal butterfly. One day, a man saw a cocoon. He loved butterflies and had a craze for their wonderful combinations of colors and beauty. In fact, he used to spend a lot of time around butterflies. He knew how a butterfly would transform from a caterpillar into a beautiful butterfly. One day, he saw a cocoon and noticed it had a tiny opening. He decided to watch how the butterfly would come out of the cocoon. He was watching the butterfly struggling to break the shell for several hours. He spent almost more than 10 hours with the cocoon and the butterfly. The butterfly had been struggling very hard for hours to come out through the tiny opening. Unfortunately, even after continuous attempts for a very long time, there was no progress. It seemed that the butterfly had tried its best and could not give any more. The man, who had a passion and love for butterflies, decided to help the butterfly. He got a pair of tiny scissors and tweaked the cocoon to make a larger opening for the butterfly and removed the remaining cocoon. The butterfly emerged without struggle. He thought at any time the butterfly might expand its wings, shrink the body, and the wings could support the body. He watched and waited, and neither the wings expanded nor the swollen body reduced. He didn't know that the continued effort of the butterfly to come out of the cocoon actually let the fluid stored in the body to be converted. When this happens, the body becomes lighter and smaller, and the wings become beautiful and large. The struggle is necessary for the butterfly. In Islam, there is a word called jihad. The literal meaning of jihad is struggle or effort. Normally, a spiritual struggle to become that which God wants you most to become. As we become who we are, struggle, jihad, is necessary in the process. And that is our story.
This is Become Becoming by Lee Young Lee. Wait for evening, then you'll be alone. Wait for the playground to empty, then call out those companions from childhood. The one who closed his eyes and pretended to be invisible. The one to whom you told every secret. The one who made a world of any hiding place. And don't forget the one who listened in silence while you wondered out loud. Is the universe an empty mirror, a flowering tree? Is the universe the sleep of a woman? Wait for the sky's last blue, the color of your homesickness, then you'll know the answer. Wait for the air's first gold, that color of amen, then you'll spy the wind's barefoot steps. Then you'll recall that story beginning with a child who strays in the woods. The search for him goes on in the growing shadow of the clock, and the face behind the clock's face is not his father's face, and the hands behind the clock hands are not his mother's hands. All of time began when you first answered to the names your mother and father gave you. Soon those names will travel with the leaves, then you can trade places with the wind. Then you'll remember your life as a book of candles, each page read by the light of its own burning. Here we go.
There we go. So 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4.
As Lee Young Lee said in Become Becoming, a person's life is like a book of candles, each page read by the light of its own burning. I find not only that visual fascinating, but the idea behind it. As a page or a moment is experienced, it is burnt up and passed by entirely just so that it may have been experienced in the first place. As we all probably know, time's a very strange thing, and the instant that you realize a moment's happening, it has already become a memory. This, I think, is part of one of the most fascinating aspects of being human. When it comes to becoming ourselves or becoming someone else, we have to look back at who we have already been, which is definitely easier said than done. It's absolutely mind-bending to think about how many fundamental events in our life that we've forgotten. I'm just 16 and I know for sure I've forgotten so many moments that have made me who I am today. They have all burnt up, each page of my story being made kindling so that it may be read. I know that I certainly am not who I was when I was a small child. It is the nature of people to change and to grow in every aspect of life. And yet it is so incredibly easy to just fall into the pattern of stagnation and let our daily life go by without observation, to grow bored with even change itself. The philosopher Friedrich Nietzsche has an interesting point of view on the staleness and sickness that comes from a lack of change. He encourages self-analysis and self-understanding as part of the quest for truth and knowledge. That should be absolutely crucial to the life of any person. He says, "You have no idea what you are experiencing. You run through life as if you were drunk and once in a while fall down a staircase," which is a pretty funny visual itself. Through the lens of my own experience, that statement rings incredibly true. Nietzsche means that this philosophy of becoming who we are as a sort of a critique on the tendency of people to stagnate, but I also personally like to think of it in a different way. As we prove by simply just existing as different people, there is no one single way to be a person. Therefore, there is no right thing to become, no right way to become, and no right person to be. Therefore, a constant process of evaluation of our own lives and our own minds can lead to so many beautiful iterations of just one single person. Although this constant cycle may seem intense and frustrating, I think of it as truly an escape from that almost sad idea that by forgetting pieces of our life, we are changed. Everything is an interpretation, and I love the idea that we can constantly change the way we interpret the world and our place and our values in it. There are infinite things to become, and within a finite time and a finite world, and I like to think that I would take Nietzsche's advice and to use judgment-free self-analysis to think about your own truth and my own truth, and I encourage you to do the same. I like to take advantage of the person who I've been in the past and think about all the possibilities in the future. Becoming is such a vast and beautiful thing, and I encourage you to think about that today.
Got this.
Focus on the goals, 'cause at the end of Hi, I'm Tegan Hitchcock. For those of you who don't know me, I'm a 9th grader at Annapolis High School and a member of this church for around a decade. When I was told that the topic for this service was becoming, wheels started turning in my head immediately with tons of ideas, so I thought I'd share some with you. Personally, I think that becoming can be thought of in many ways. Who are we becoming, what we're not becoming, what our surroundings are becoming, and how we become. We are all growing on our own, learning individually, but also together. We're all worried at one time or another how fast we are becoming. We rush ourselves. When we can really slow down and appreciate the process, the end result can be so much more rewarding. It's just like when you're studying for a test. If you rush through it, you don't absorb the information as much. You won't remember what you studied. You have to slow down and pay attention, or you might not do well on your test. This also relates to our experiences. If we can be more attentive, then we can get a lot more out of things. Becoming is a part of life. And to me, the point of life is to make memories and relationships and grow as we live. Those memories and experiences we have shape who we are and who we become as our lives go on. Because we're all different. What makes having a community special is having different people come together and contribute their own little piece. When I think of becoming as a community, I think about how we all influence each other and work together to build a space and community we are proud of that we want other people to join. And it helps us diversify our knowledge and continue growing together. Something that happens as I get older, and especially when growing up and becoming an adult, is that we worry about what other people want us to become. Are we going up too fast or not fast enough? Do we have all the necessary skills it takes to be an adult and to have a successful career? And what is that career? I assure you I've asked myself all of those questions at one point or another. And that's okay. The main thing that we have to know is that we should grow up and be who we want to be at our own rate. If you don't want to go to college, that's okay. If you don't know what you're going to do, then that's okay too. We shouldn't be pressured into deciding. But if we do know what we want to do, we shouldn't be afraid to do it. To become who we want to be, and that applies in all areas of life. One question I have been asked is, do you think you're prepared for life? But what does that mean? When I think of being prepared for life, I think of knowing how to do taxes and cook, and doing internships and going to school and getting a good education, and participating in extracurricular activities to look good on my college resume. But what I think might not be what you or someone else thinks, because we all have different experiences and different lives. Lack of experience is also something that worries me. What if I haven't gained enough experience in a certain area of life, so I fall behind? Sometimes we get thrown headfirst into the deep end before we can learn how to swim. Now if that happens, we have options. We can spin out of control and make it worse, or we can try to swim and adapt, or get help. In this example, getting help is probably the best option, right? But what if there's no one to help us? Then what? We have to try and overcome the problem ourselves. Sometimes we get scared of what could happen when we try something new. Personally, I hate change. Most of the time, I'm good doing what I'm doing, and I want to keep it that way. But what if changing isn't an option? What if we have to change because it's good for someone else? I was homeschooled until 7th grade, mostly because I refused to go to school. I didn't think it would be good. I was scared about it, for a number of reasons. Then I had to, because my mom got a job. Ultimately, it wasn't my decision, but it ended up being okay, and now it's over 2 years later, and I'm sure public school isn't exactly amazing, but it has a lot of good things about it, and I'm very passionate about some things I do in there, and it's really fun. I choose to be optimistic about it and invest myself into the new experience. People experience things that others don't, whether it be good or bad. By observing, we can learn. Observing people is something that everyone does. I do it all the time, and I think it's a very helpful act because it shows us what to do and what not to do. Sure, something that works for you might not be something that works for someone else, but it's still a good idea to figure out and watch other people because that can help you figure out what does work for you, what makes you happy. I'll tell you what makes me happy. When I have new ideas, when I can find a new song I can dance to, when I get to talk to my friends and my family, and when I get good grades and I can share my own opinions, like I am doing now. Lots of things that make me happy, and it's important to know what they are so we can process the things we know we like. When we know what we like, we can be happy, and being happy is a part of becoming because we want to become something we're happy to be. Thank you.
If only you knew, the sunlight shines a little brighter, the weight of the world's a little lighter, the stars lean in a little closer, all because of you. I wanna see you lift your chin a little higher, open your eyes a little wider, speak your mind a little louder, 'cause you are royalty. This is your kingdom, this is your crown, this is your story, and this is your moment, don't look down. You're ready, born ready, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. Our ceiling is your floor, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. If only you knew. If only you knew. If only you knew. The forest grew a little green, our roots reach in a little deeper, the birds all sing a little sweeter, all to welcome you. I wanna see you happily ever after, that you know in your heart that you matter, that you are royalty. This is your kingdom, this is your crown, this is your story, this is your moment, don't look down. You're ready, born ready, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. Our ceiling is your floor, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. If only you knew. You're ready, born ready, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. Our ceiling is your floor, and all you gotta do is put one foot in front of you. This is your kingdom, this is your crown, this is your story, this is your moment, don't look down.
This month, we share the plate with the Annapolis Lighthouse. The Lighthouse provides housing solutions, employment services, social enterprise, and support services to our most vulnerable neighbors. Beyond providing food, clothing, and shelter, Lighthouse also addresses the underlying causes of homelessness, such as lack of marketable job skills, addiction, and the debilitating effects of both mental and physical health issues. Be generous in your gift. Their work is dependent on each of us giving fully to fund the beloved community beyond our doors. There are many ways to give. You will see links in the chat below, which will take you to the virtual plate. You may use the code shown on this slide to take you to the virtual plate as well. Simply take a picture with your phone and you will be directed how to give.
the sad eyes. Don't be discouraged, oh, I realize it's hard to take courage in a world full of people. You can lose sight of it all, and the darkness inside can make you feel so small. But I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow. Show me that smile then. Don't be unhappy, can't remember when I last saw you laughing. If this world makes you crazy and you've taken all that you can bear, you call me up, because you know I'll be there. And I see your true colors shining through. I see your true colors, and that's why I love you. So don't be afraid to let them show your true colors. Your true colors are beautiful, like a rainbow.
Hello, Unitarian Universalist Church of Annapolis. I'm Jesse McKinney. Julie Berman asked me to talk a little bit about growing your own food today and kind of getting it, sourcing your food locally, which is a great idea for a myriad of reasons. So I'm talking to you today from my community garden. It's up in Amberley on the Broadneck Peninsula. It's on an old sod farm, which the family who owns the property set it aside. They worked with the state and got an easement for their taxes, and they've put it into conservation, but it's still a working farm. They have sheep, they have a lot of different agricultural products that they produce out of the farm, but one thing they did was set aside some land for this community garden. There's a whole bunch of little plots, and this is kind of one of my main hobbies here is everybody puts in and gets their own little community garden plot, and this is mine, a little bit messy because it's the spring, but some of the things that I have growing are things that I started either early in the winter, like this bed here is a all Nebraska family, which would be the same family as cabbages and broccoli. This is all kale here, and I've got some Korean radishes I'm going to make into kimchi. And let's see, over here we've got everything in this bed's in the onion family. I've got shallots and some elephant garlic and some regular garlic, and leeks over here, and beets, and I think get close enough. I've got, this is my second year and the first time that they're coming up. These are purple asparagus coming up. So, good reasons to source your own food locally or grow it yourself is, don't get me started, but industrial agricultural industry that we have has really been largely taken over by large multinational corporations that really don't care about the environment, they don't care about your health, you know, I mean, we're evolved to have a certain diet that we don't really have anymore. It leads to a lot of disease. You know, people don't realize that the soil itself has a lot of the same organisms, or ones that are, you know, that work with the organisms inside our bodies, our bacteria and fungus and our digestive system. And a healthy soil, which you're only going to get if you're not doing kind of traditional modern agriculture and getting food that way. You need that to be healthy for your body. So that's one reason, is health. It's my main hobby and keeps me, I don't know if it keeps me healthy, but it keeps me sane and happier. So another way you can kind of source your food if you're not looking to take on another hobby, which I totally understand, is farmers markets. There's a great farmers market off of Riva Road in Annapolis here. There are a couple of them in town, actually, and you know, there are a bunch of local farms that treat their soil a little bit better. They treat the environment better, and they produce better food. That's one way you can get your food. Another way is community-supported agriculture programs. I join one. I get extra food during the summer from a farm that's run by the Chesapeake Bay Foundation, but there are a bunch of them around here. They're, you know, generally local and family-owned farms that you get a box of food every week, and you go and pick it up, or they'll deliver to you even. But you know, that's just a little bit about growing your own food, and you know, I encourage everybody to kind of source, you know, better food for yourself, and make those connections with the people that actually grow your food, or do it yourself, and work with other people to do it. All right. Thanks, everybody.
We extinguish our chalice with words from Jean M. Olson. Go boldly. May you be brave enough to expose your aching woundedness and reveal your vulnerability. May you sing the music within you, composing your own melody, playing your song with all your heart.